Hit my button.
I thought you did.
I did that by boobs, my mistake. Good evening. I'd like to go ahead and call to order the 7 p.m. Town of Rocky Hill Zoning Board of Appeals meeting for Tuesday, July 19th, 2022. First thing on the agenda is we have a couple public hearings. If I could get Secretary Puglisi to please read the legal notice.
Legal notice, Town of Rocky Hill Zoning Board of Appeals. The Rocky Hill Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, July 19th, 2022, beginning at 7 p.m. in the council chambers on the second floor of Town Hall. And this is to consider the following appeal 2022-5, Gaetan Rockamora, requesting variances from requirements of the Rocky Hill zoning regulations, section 3.B.1.3, multifamily housing development in existence as of February 1st, 2006, and section 3B, height and area requirements to allow for a 24.3-foot front yard setback where 40-foot is required, and side yard setback of 4-foot and 12-foot where 15-foot is required, on property located at 65 Walnut Road in the R20 Residential District. And B, Appeal 2022-06, Katie Peel Site Enhancement Services, requesting a variance from requirements of the Rocky Hill zoning regulations, section 7.C.2.1, business identification signs, to allow for 5 signs with a total area of 246.1 square foot, where 1 sign with a max area of 40 square foot is permitted on property located at 1489 Silestine Highway in the RC, which is the Regional Commercial District.
Okay. Excuse me, thank you very much. Okay, I'd like to go ahead and start. Oh, you're right, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'd like to go ahead and, before we start, please let you know that any decisions made by this board can be taken to Superior Court within 15 days. Okay, I'd like to go ahead and start with appeal number 2022-05, Gaetan Rockamora. Step up, state your name and address, please. Thank you.
Hello, my name's Gaetan Rockamora. I live at 86 Fox Hill Drive in Rocky Hill, Connecticut. So I'm here tonight to request a variance for 65 Walnut Road. Basically, if I can go to the map, do I need to take this with me?
One on a seat right there.
Yeah, there's a microphone right behind you on the first row. Thank you.
So what's outlined in red here is where, so this lot had a structure fire. And it was pretty heavily engulfed, so the whole house basically went. Just to give you a little history, there was another building back here. The 2 people that lived in the house, the reason I'm here tonight is because this thing wasn't rebuilt within the year. And the reason is that 2 people had perished in the fire, 2 people that resided there. So our regulations read that if you don't voluntarily rebuild this house within a year, that you lose the status of it, okay? You lose the status of where it was built. So the issue here, from my understanding, was that the 2 people perished, there was no will. The thing went into probate. I guess there was 1 person that was gonna get the property from the 2 people that perished. That person ended up, from my understanding, putting a ladder up against the house, and I guess against some electrical wires. He ended up perishing, so there was nobody for the property to go to. So, yeah, the property doesn't have a good history. So I acquired the property. The town knocked down what was there. They knocked it down and hauled it away. And I basically bought the property for pretty much what it cost the town to get rid of it and clean it up. And so what I want to convey to you guys is, our regulations say that, that voluntarily not building it. I don't think there was anything voluntary here. I just think that, the property had to go through the proper sources, had to go through probate, and unfortunately, there were a lot of things that happened between, the fire and the time it could have been rebuilt. So I'm here tonight looking for the variance for the front yard setback, and for the side yard setback. And Dave, I think one side already has a variance.
Yes, I did
So-
find a variance for the south side, allowing a 4-foot setback.
Okay, so the one side that we're seeking a variance for already has a variance.
Right.
And that variance goes with the property?
Correct.
Okay.
You're seeking a front yard and the other, and
So I'm
side yard.
seeking the front yard and the other side. So I'm seeking this side here. So the building was 8.6 feet away from here. We now have it at 12 feet away. So we're actually lessening the impact. We're also lessening the impact of the footprint. The footprint for the house that I want to do is smaller than the house that was there. I also don't want to build the building back here, which I'll show you guys a picture of shortly. It was rather large and a double-decker, so I'm not looking to put that up either. So again, and I just wanted to put a lot of emphasis on the fact that, the regulations say voluntary discontinuance of use. This was no way voluntary. It was tragic is what it was. And there was no intention to abandon, ever. So anyways, hold on. Can I show them some pictures? Is that okay?
Yeah, give them to me, I'll pass them down.
Okay. So this is our GIS map, and this shows the structure that was behind the home before they demolished it. This picture here shows, although my neighbor's parked in my driveway here, it shows two separate driveways, and there are two separate driveways there. That first picture shows two that were surrounded by two families. This speaks for itself. This was the side of the house that had the 8-foot separation between property lines, and now we're increasing that to 12. This is the 4-foot side, but we already have a variance for that, so
Yes.
you can see it. This is the 4-foot side that we already have a variance for. This is the structure behind the building, the double decker, and you can see that it's 2 stories, and that's it. Those are enough. We did the one across. If you guys want me to show you what's what on those pictures, I can.
Anything else to, any questions? Commissioner Ramada? Excuse me.
All set.
Vice Chair Cooley?
No, all set.
Do we have letters from neighbors?
I have not received any correspondence from anyone. The sign was placed on the property, and I did receive the notification of mailings.
If I can, I put the sign up 2 weeks before I was supposed to put it up, and I've talked to my neighbors, and they're all for it. Actually, one of them, I'm probably gonna be letting them share my driveway, so they're all excited about it.
Okay, that's it. Commissioner Whalen?
Can I ask staff, what's the history of the multifamily housing? Right now, he cannot get that?
Right now, you can only have multifamily if it was in existence before 2006. As I indicated in my report, the house that was there was single-family, and it, I'm not sure about the neighboring houses, but I have a list, I thought I included it in there, that I have a list. There's about 8 properties on Walnut Road that are multifamily. And as Mr. Rockamora, stated, when he purchased the property, it was a vacant lot with the structures all removed, sometime after they were removed.
So what's the hardship for having a multifamily?
Well, just, our regulations say that we can, that I could rebuild, when you have a use like this, that you could rebuild something that's more in conformity with the neighborhood. And the rest of a lot of the houses there are, the majority of the houses there are multifamily. And this can go 2 routes. I could do an in-law apartment and have it look like an in-law apartment, or I could do a legit 2-family. And, we need housing. We're going through that in town now. And I could build a good-looking 2-family structure, put a raised bed in the front, maybe a nice plaque for the 2 people that perished in the fire, make the house look good, and make it conform to the neighborhood. Or there's a couple of houses down there now, they did the in-law apartment, and you could tell it's an in-law apartment. It looks horrible. So I want to do it legit. I want to do it the right way. That's why I'm here before you guys. And it's actually less of an impact on the land than what was there before. So we lessen the impact on the land, maybe the use we, bump up a little bit.
Another thing, you keep stressing 1 year you had time to rebuild.
I haven't owned it for a year.
It says you purchased it in 2019. Is that correct?
Did I? No. No, I don't
So
think
that's when
so.
the tax sale was. It was purchased the end of 2019, from what this is saying, the history of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
but, the use had already been, the fire was in 2017.
Yep.
Correct.
So, yeah, I just, with the whole COVID thing and the lumber prices the way they were and, just getting whacked in the head every time you turn a corner, I just didn't even think about it. I bought it. I chased it for a while. I bought it. And, I don't think there weren't many people doing much out there at all. So, and I'm ready to do it now. I'm ready to do it. I'm ready to make it look good and, create some housing in town here, or at least, an extra unit. So, not that that's going to make a huge difference, but it'll make a difference.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Commissioner Beatty?
Let's see, yeah. So, like I said, there's 2 sets of variances. One are all the setbacks, and the other one is the multifamily and the R20.
The use, correct.
And wouldn't that, I guess, like you're actually making it non-conforming now? That is making it non, am I thinking that right, Dave? Where right now, R20 is a single family.
Every house down
And-
there is non-conforming.
Well, I know, but they were built in the time period.
Right.
I'm just
Yeah.
trying to process this.
As far as the multifamily
Right.
use would be non-conforming
Yeah.
unless a variance is granted.
Right, okay. And,
Although, just to add, as Mr. Rockamora
Yeah.
stated, we do permit accessory apartments.
right,
And Now, they changed in the last year that they're limited on size
Right.
as far as 30% of the gross floor area of the house. However, they could be detached or attached. Right.
And,
So,
and,
yeah.
and also, like you, I'm glad you put the page in for me. I think you did that for me, so thank you.
Keep it clear for everybody.
And where I was going was, as I was reading all the rules, now, after 12 months, do all previous, I guess, appeals that have been approved go away? Do they always stay with the land?
All variances run with the land.
Okay, okay, thank you. I'm good.
Right, and like he said, just to elaborate, you know, they've changed the in-law apartment?
Accessory.
Accessory use apartment, and now you can have separate, electrical meters, they could be detached, and that's not the route I wanna take. I mean, obviously, you know, I'm an investor, so, but I'd like to see a nice-looking two-family house there. And I actually got a picture of one if you want to see it. Can I show it to him?
Just pass it through here, and I'm gonna need to keep all these after the meeting.
I'm saving them right here.
How many square feet is that house you propose?
The one that I'm proposing is, I want to say 2,100. The house that was there was 23. So the house that I'm proposing is smaller than the house that was existing. And the building that was behind the house on that has a variance, but I don't want to rebuild that.
Thank you.
Anything else,
I'm
Commissioner
gonna,
Bee?
after that picture, I'm just gonna pass down the previous, not the current assessor's card, but a previous one.
Anything else, Commissioner Beatty?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay, Commissioner?
One question, you have a two-family home and that you're proposing, how many bedrooms?
2,
Two in each?
correct.
Okay, thank you.
Correct. And I have one on Dividend Road that I built about 4 or 5 years ago, number 33 Dividend. You know, I have professionals in it. They love it. I have a couple others on Dividend Road. I've got one on Pratt Street. I've got a professional couple upstairs and a single woman downstairs. That's 22 Pratt. So I've got other ones that I maintain in town, and my son has a, you know, lawn and landscaping company, so we maintain the yards and we keep them looking good.
The reason I ask is because we just, not we, but the town approved Ames, and they're putting in 1 and 2 bedrooms, and that gives us a good idea of the impact on the schools.
Oh, well, I think you need, you know, 3 to 4 bedroom. I think they're more, families tend more to rent houses than they do apartments. So,
That seems to be the information I got.
yeah.
Benny.
I've got not a ton, but, you know, probably 80 rentals around the state, you know, locally here. And I have some single families. And I would say 90% of the families I have don't go after my 2 bedrooms. They go after the single family homes that I own. So,
Thank you.
yeah. Newington, I have a complex behind Johnny's Restaurant there. And those are all 1 and 2 bedrooms, and there's no families in there.
So I just have a quick question. So we already have a variance for the south side of the property, right?
Correct.
So he's not really, he's,
And the other two, I believe you're meeting the front setback or
No.
pushing it back, reducing the nonconformity with a front setback, the
Right.
previous front setback, and reducing what was there on the previous house on the north side as well.
The north side, we have less of an impact.
Right.
And the front, we're right where the house was
right, that's,
prior
yeah.
to the fire.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is, like, basically, it's only like a 10 by 14 area where, you know, it's an impact of a new variance. Other than that, we still have the variance.
Right.
Wouldn't that technically then hold true if we already have a variance for the south portion of
Yes,
the
the south,
property?
yes, he's permitted to go up to 4
Okay.
feet. Yep.
Okay, all right, so it's just the front, which I'm really, I'm not even seeing that much of a difference. So, I've got no problems with that. The other thing is just the conformity of, or the non-conformity of the, two-family housing. Which, you show all that area down there is 95% of it is two-family structures. So, okay,
Joe, have anything?
I'm sorry?
Did you?
No, I'm all set.
He's all set, yeah. Okay, anything else? No? Okay, is there anybody here against? Anybody else here for this appeal? Anybody against? Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Okay. I don't need to do a motion to close this public hearing, do I?
No, not till
Okay,
after
not to
the,
both of them, okay. Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, and can we go ahead and do the appeal
Excuse me, Ms.
2022 OSTA?
Would
Yes,
you, do you want to close the public hearing yet, or are you going to close them both at the
we'll
same?
close them both at the same time.
Okay.
Okay. Please state your name and address, please.
Madam Chair, good evening. My name is Charlie Shalliel, Site Enhancement Services. My address is 6001 Nimps Parkway, South Bend, Indiana, 46530. First off, thank you very much for allowing us to come before you this evening. I'm here tonight representing the Longhorn Steakhouse. And of course, I forgot my folder. Hold on one second. My memory's not that great, so I sincerely apologize. If I don't have notes to look at, I'm in trouble. So I'm here tonight representing the Longhorn Steakhouse that would be going into 1489 Silas-Dean Highway. It's the former Dakota restaurant location. I'm sure you're familiar with it. It's located directly adjacent to 91. Here tonight, respectfully requesting branding elements to be placed on the building that will help the motoring public identify the building, and at the same time bring some recognition to the property itself, and at the same time, again, as you'll see in the elevations that I have here with me, the elevations were designed in a manner in which to accommodate the elements that we're seeking. I think, or I hope you agree that the elements that we're seeking help to enhance the overall property, the overall appeal of the property, and then the building itself. As stated by, or I guess in the report earlier, allowed by code is 140 square foot sign. We are seeking additional signage to that. We're seeking a sign that's larger than code on the front wall. When I say front wall, it would be the one that actually faces the roadway, the Silas-Dean, excuse me. As well as we're looking for, and a lot of communities are different in regards to how this element is received or I guess regulated. And you'll see it in the package I'm going to hand out as well. It's a steer head, just an emblem or a representation. Some people or some places call it artwork. It's not face lit. It's actually a backlit, soft lit, illuminated feature that just helps to break up the architectural element of the chimney facade. You'll see when I hand out the paperwork as well. Then we are seeking a facade sign on the side of the building along with a steer head that faces actually faces towards 91, and then a sign on the rear of the building as well that faces back interior to the complex. No off-premise identification or I guess visibility. It's merely for the people who are parking behind the facility and the people at the hotel as well. But at the same time, being at the development today and actually going to the On the Border restaurant, that parking lot gets extremely full. To think that the Longhorn Steakhouse crowd is going to be able to fit in the front parking lot, I think is, it's just not going to be totally feasible. That's one of the reasons that we're seeking the additional signage, that we are going to have parking in the rear of the facility. People are going to park in the rear of the facility, pass by the side facility, or I'm sorry, side elevation, and then to the front elevation as well. So we're looking for some brand recognition to assist, whether it be motorists or the pedestrians, so that they know where they're going, so that they feel comfortable where they're going, and that the building has that identification tool. It's also important to note in driving the highway, or at least 91 North today, the side elevation that we're seeking the sign on will have visibility to the highway. So motorists, as they are approaching south to north, they'll have the ability to see the freestanding sign. Within the cone of vision, they'll see the side elevation. They'll be able to see the sign that we're proposing on the side elevation, be able to make that exit turn, and then basically you've got a straight-on shot when you get off the exit ramp right to the front of the building. It is important to note that, and again, when I hand out the artwork, we can go through that as well. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do that now. We are quite a bit set back. If you're familiar, we're not looking at too much of a different footprint in regards to location on the property that the Dakota restaurant had. We're not going to be pushing up close to the property line that a lot of the businesses along the roadway are able to achieve. We're actually still going to be way back, set back. I want to say it's 429 or 459 feet back on the property, which really warrants the need to have that additional sign square footage so that we have a sign on that front facade that's visible. Because yes, we will have a monument sign along the frontage road, similar to what Dakota did. But if you come off the exit ramp, you're looking at the side of it, which isn't helpful. So you're going to be looking back onto the property to see our front facade, which is definitely one of the reasons that we're seeking that slightly larger sign on the front facade, as well as that architectural element, the steerhead that I'm seeking, or that I spoke about earlier, excuse me. Dave, could I hand these to you, or do you want me to hand them out? It's up to you.
You can pass them on.
I promise I won't
I think
toss
we
them.
are, is this the same packet as this?
It's a little different.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a slight augment.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you.
And just real quickly, because again, this hits on a lot of the points that I guess I've already spoken about. And just flipping through the package. Here, I have. And flipping through the package, you'll see this on the first page. It's just a general overall site plan, excuse me, of the property itself, and then the signage that we're seeking on the elevations in which we're seeking. On the next page, there's an aerial that shows where we are located on the property, as well as the different methods that people can arrive at this location. It's not only the Silas Dean traffic that's important, it's also, also the 91 traffic that's important, making sure that those people have a good wayfinding tools in order to locate and understand where the building is. On the next page, you'll see that 425 feet, excuse me, I thought there was a 9 in it. 425 feet the way the crow flies from the actual roadway, so quite a bit set back from the actual roadway. On the next page, you'll see the front elevation that we're speaking about. There's the Longhorn Steakhouse sign that's on the right-hand side. That is what code would allow, is the sign that we're showing on this page. On the next page, you see the elevation that we're asking for. So the other thing I want to point out is on this elevation, the 40 square foot, the sign that is allowed by code would occupy 1.8% of the facade. That's a very small coverage area when you're talking about signage to elevation size. So on the next page, you'll see the two signs that we're seeking on the front elevation. Again, that steerhead, unlike the Longhorn Steakhouse, the Longhorn Steakhouse is internally illuminated, so it would be facelit just like every other letter set that's typical in the commercial corridor. The steerhead itself is halo illuminated, and again, it's just that small representation on the chimney to kind of break up the expanse of that stonework that's on the chimney. And that actually covers 4.1% of the facade. Those two signs combined is only still 4.1% of the facade, a very small amount of coverage on that elevation. On the next page, you see the side. This would be the side that faces towards 91. There are trees that are currently there on the property and along the highway. There is conversation in regards to the modification of that vegetation. I can't speak to where that is, but I know that that is an element that is being brought forward as part of the property and the further construction and modification of the property. But that's the signage in which you would see when you're or when you're on 91 headed north. You'd be able to look to the right-hand side and see the signage that we're talking about. And again, people who are parking behind the restaurant and walking past will have that sense of, okay, this is where we are, it's the brand identification, and again, the only people that it's there to target is the 91 traffic, as well as a reinforcement of wayfinding that these people are in the right location. And then the sign that you see on page 8 is the sign that we're proposing on the rear. Again, it's the same size as the other signs, and again, it only points to interior to the development itself, points back towards the hotel, and then also to the pet, what's it called, Pet Palace?
Pet Resort, Best Friends.
Best Friends Pet Resort. So it's interior to the property, no off-premise identification. On page 9, you start to see the approaches. This is from the highway, and again, potential vegetation modification, so that picture on the right-hand side is a little more dense than we anticipate. And then the rest of the package is just breakdowns on the signage themselves. In traveling the location and in traveling the corridor, understanding that, you know, there's properties that are along the roadway in this corridor that are right up on the property or pretty darn close to the street line itself. Again, we're tucked back 425 feet from the entrance along Silas Dean, and the signage on the front of the building is paramount to the success of being able to get people to navigate to the property. The On the Border restaurant, which is right up on the street, I'm sure you're familiar with, the food was delicious, has signage that is prototypical to what I would say a commercial corridor invites. They've got the border tube neon, they've got a sign on 3 elevations. It makes sense. It's an attractive property to pull people, you know, once they exit the highway, pull them into the development to get them to stop on the border. I know that the Holiday Inn Express down the street has, you know, is set back, and they're in an interesting location on the roadway, and they've got a sign on the side of the building, a sign on the front, and a freestanding. Not atypical of what we're seeking. And then, you know, there's other properties throughout the community that as you drive on Silas Dean are really focused on that commercial environment, that commercial presentation, and we're just looking to make this location viable, something that the community can be proud of. And at the same time, when people get off the highway, they're easily able to find us. Longhorn is definitely a destination, but at the same time, it's one of those things where once you see the freestanding sign, you want to be able to locate the building, and the signage that we're seeking will assist in that manner. I know that property ownership is here as well, so if there's any questions of them or myself, I'd be more than happy to answer them.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
If you go to page 9, where it says the approach on I-91, you're not going to take advantage of the sign?
The freestanding sign?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. We are absolutely going to be on that sign.
Oh, okay, all right, okay.
In all honesty, other than the front wall and probably the side wall, that is the main sign for this
I didn't
property.
when you said freestanding, I didn't know if that was what you were talking about.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Does anybody else want to speak? Anything else you want to add to his presentation?
I don't know that we.
State your name and address, please.
Good evening. I'm Jim Fazio, and I've been here many times, but not recently, and I recognize some of the people here. You may remember me. I've been here, let's see, since the 80s. That's my son, Justin, who is with us now. And you know the problems we had with Dakota with the pandemic, and they weren't able to survive, and we were fortunate enough to have someone like Longhorn come in and join us, and we're very excited about it. It's been a few years in the waiting. So if you have any questions of us, as the property owners, the landlords, of course, we'll be answering it. As you know, we're here tomorrow night with planning and zoning as well.
Okay.
I know. I've been here as long as you.
No, I don't think so.
Almost.
I don't think
Oh,
so.
you're right. Can I answer anything from anyone?
Yeah,
as
let's go ahead,
regards-
sir. Commissioner Mata, do you have any questions?
It's really not a question. It's more of a, just bringing it to your attention. Can we make sure that whatever you do with the parking lot, that the handicap spots have the appropriate measurements for the hash marks?
Absolutely, and I'll tell you, they were very aggressive about that. In their plan, in fact, we have dedicated spaces, of course, for that, and it will be absolutely to the measurement, and that's on the site plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it.
Thank you.
The only question, they answered my question.
Okay.
Simple question. As far as the diagrams that you have, you're coming off the building, the proposed building, and you have red, the color red coming off to indicate the direction of the lights. Does that also indicate the spread of the light? In other words,
No,
I'm-
it does.
Okay.
It doesn't. So what that is, that's a visibility cone that we
Right.
use in the industry to just say this is where the sign is mainly going to be visible from. These are all LED self-contained signs. So it's going to have it's not going to have a neon glow to it, like you oftentimes see with open-faced or what have you. It's all self-contained. It's all within the foot candle regulations, UL listed, what have you. And there's no ambient light spill.
Okay, thank you. And the parking lot back there will be lit, how will that be lit?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
The parking lot behind the building, how will that be lit?
Oh, we have all above the high boys
Okay,
throughout the property. Oh, thank you. Is this on? Yeah. Yeah, we have the high boys, and we're adding some too. And it's all on that site plan, which, we're presenting tomorrow night.
right. The only reason I ask is
And we have
because
additional ones too.
I didn't know if the signs that we're talking about tonight were included in the light that you were concerned with for the parking lot. And it sounds like you're not.
They're not, that's correct.
Okay, thank you.
That's- Okay.
Okay. Commissioner Whalen?
No questions.
Commissioner Beatty?
So it sort of sounds like that the hardship is that it looks like a lot of the rules were developed for buildings that were right on the main right. And then this has a setback, so that creates an opportunity for this. Am I thinking that correctly?
Yes, Joe.
I would definitely, just from driving the corridor and from reading the regulations, that is definitely our unique circumstance to this property is our setback, our proximity to the raised highway. It makes it very difficult for the building visibility.
And did the other steakhouse have any variances?
I don't know.
None that I found.
I don't believe so. No, I don't think so. It's a smaller footprint in Dakota, quite a bit smaller, actually. Yeah, about,
Actually, I don't think any business is set 425 feet from the road. To be honest with you, I
No,
can't,
there
I
really
can't,
isn't.
I can't think of anyone.
Nope.
Best friends.
no, we're quite a ways back.
The hotel.
Yeah, which, yeah, and we operate that. He does.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, I just have one question. So you're saying that on your site plan here, option E, that's the back of the building? Your sign E?
Sign E is the
That's
one
the
that
back
faces
of the
towards the
building?
back of the building. And again, the reason why we're asking for E, how do I say this? Of order of importance, that's our least important sign. And the only reason I point it out like that is because it's people that are gonna be parking back there. And who are we kidding? When you're looking at restaurants and what have you, you get the dumpster enclosures, you get the back of house kitchen things. Longhorn Steakhouse does, and Darden Restaurants in general, does an amazing job of keeping the back of their facilities clean and presentable. We're trying to articulate that presentation with the sign, so that when people park back there, they understand that, hey, this is the Longhorn. There's, I guess, that additional feeling. I know when I go to park somewhere, I like to have that recognition of, I know where I'm going. So there's the sign, I can walk around and travel the side of the building. That's the only reason why we're asking for that sign, if that makes sense.
No, it does make sense. It's just, it's a lot more than what our regulations are currently. So that's just, my concern. You are going to be utilizing the tall sign in the front that's visible from the highway. You're going to be utilizing that one sign that's closer to
The
the
small
Silas Dean? Yeah, okay. So you will be using those two. Okay. All right, I don't have any other questions. Any other questions? Nope, not right now? Okay. Okay, can I, anybody here else for it? Anybody here against? Okay. Can I have a motion to close both public hearings, please?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
I'm sorry, discussion. All in favor? Opposed? No? Okay. We'll go into discussion. Okay. Actually, could I go ahead and get a motion on Appeal 2022-05? Gayton Reckamore, 65 Walnut Road.
I recommend that approval for Gayton Rocker Motors appeal. Since he already has the 4-foot setback and doesn't need that he receives a 12-foot setback and the height requirement.
Okay. And do we have any, thing for the family? We can make a motion on the two-family, right?
You gotta have it second, you gotta have the motion second first.
Okay. Do I have a second? Actually, I want to put it on the record that for this appeal, Commissioner Whalen will be voting in place of Commissioner Roderick, who could not be with us tonight. Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay.
You want to make a friendly amendment for the two-family?
Or you want to just do it as a second? We'll do it as another motion. It's up to you.
No, no, it's up to you. No.
Yeah, no, okay, no, let's go ahead and do it separate. We'll keep these two separate, okay? Okay, so we have a motion, we have a second. Do we have any discussion? No? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Okay, and do I have another motion for the two-family house?
Excuse me.
Go ahead.
Could we back up and just see what the votes were? We didn't.
Oh, it was unanimous.
Unanimous?
Only
Okay.
two people with their hands up.
Oh, sorry, it was unanimous.
Oh, no, nothing. I'm not.
What was it that you were,
Second
did you
motion?
finish speaking?
Yeah, no, I just need a second
Okay.
motion for the,
I'll second it.
yeah,
All
we
right.
did that, yep.
Yeah.
May I offer a second
Mm-hmm.
motion for to approve the two-family house?
Do I have a second?
I'll second it again. Don't be shy.
Discussion? None? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Raise your hand, Fran.
You're opposed? Okay. Does pass, both of them pass. We're all one again, one of, yeah, I'm in favor. You're welcome.
Thank you, folks.
Okay, thank you. Could I have a motion on Appeal 2022-06, the KDPL Site Enhancement Services?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Discussion? No, actually, I'm going to put on the record that Commissioner Vidi's going to be voting on this appeal in place of Commissioner Roderick.
I'm in favor of this application for safety reasons more than anything else. I mean, it's 424 feet from the road, and I think the signage here is vital for safety reason.
No, I agree. Okay, do we have any other discussion? Vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Nope. Congratulations, motion passes. Thank you.
Welcome to town.
Okay. Going on to old business.
Good luck tomorrow night.
Do we have anything old business? No.
Can
You want to take it up? Yeah, go ahead, take it up.
can we discuss what's going on New Britain Avenue?
We can. The hearing officer is doing an assessment. Right now, we had a hearing without, or we had an assessment, we're having an assessment without a hearing, because we never got a response from the property owner. So the assessment is being determined by the hearing officer per the ordinance. Should be getting it tomorrow or the next day. It gets filed with the court. I don't know what the amount is yet, but the amount that the fines have accrued to are very significant.
Now, we're talking about the property with all the cars.
Yes.
All right.
Oh,
What-
okay, you're
what-
talking about that one.
What?
Okay.
What are we doing about the house down the street where the other day there were 8 or 10 pickups from New Jersey parked there?
We're aware of that. It looks to be that the property's being rented right now, or,
Okay. Because the other day.
it's not the people who were there before with the construction equipment.
Oh, yes, it is. They got a paving machine parked on the side of the house and
The other day?
It was there this morning.
I haven't seen, I saw the number of trucks with all the New
No,
Jersey plates.
and they got the thing that sprays driveways to do seal coating. They were both there today.
Okay, because we were out there Monday, and there was
Okay,
pickup trucks.
All right, okay. But we are in the process of,
Yes.
now, the house I'm just talking about, what are you doing there?
Well, all we saw were registered pickup trucks the other day, so there was nothing being done. I know in the past, I've issued letters about the flatbed with the paving box on it.
Right.
Or backhoe on it, or different equipment, and a roller.
If you look at the right side
I
of the
know,
house.
I know what I know who the company is.
Okay, all right.
Okay. All right, I have a question too. There's a house on Main Street, further down, almost down by the Cromwell line, where the grass it's getting up there.
Across from the VFW?
No, down further. Yeah, it's gonna be on the right-hand side. I think it's 3325 Main Street. It's gonna be on the right-hand side as you're going into Cromwell. It's like one of that last group of like 5 houses before you hit the Cromwell line. It's right there. And then also the house on New Road in France, he's got a couple areas where he's just not mowing.
Yeah, closer to the corner and the
Yep.
pile of wood.
Yep, yes. Okay, do we have any other business? Okay, can I get a motion to approve the actions taken in minutes from the June 21st meeting?
Motion to approve?
Okay, second,
Second?
discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Nope. Motion,
Just back to any other businesses,
ahead.
we have the bylaws
You're right.
that have been revised that will need to be signed by the secretary, chairman, and vice chair.
got it. We will sign that right now. Okay, then can I get a motion to adjourn? So moved, all right. All in favor? I know that's not gonna be one. All right, opposed, nope. We are adjourned.